So I think that the whole world is probably watching at this point, um, as far as the. So it's looking like we have more tragedy occurring at the Titanic site, which, I mean, this is just my opinion, but I think it's a little bit crazy and borderline disrespectful to be running commercial tours to just go gawk at the gravesite of thousands of people. Um, but this company, their bad decisions don't stop there. They decided to extend their bad decisions into the safety programs, the craft design. It seems like they're just acting like this is equivalent to like snorkeling off Bermuda or something. No big deal. Um, I mean, I don't know if the CEO or the leadership of the company is just not fully understanding the dangers and obstacles that going down to a depth like that presents. I mean, even if you have perfectly designed equipment, it's still going to have a maximum number of cycles down to that depth, down to those pressures. The physical shape of the craft is actually being deformed and changing as it approaches those depths just from the forces exerted. So you can only take something and squish it and expand it and squish it and expand it so many times before you need to really evaluate uh, what needs to be upgraded and changed. And on top of that, the idea of having a program like this and having no way, no vehicle to recover, no plan in place, clearly no plan in place, no contingency plan in place in the event that the systems on board failed in order to recover the vehicle. And I mean, they have releasable ballast, which is apparently junk construction pipes. That's what they used. It's not even purpose built. Um, I'm reading that a lot of the components of the craft are off the shelf commercial components. So they're relying on the quality control systems of the manufacturer. And the manufacturers are not having their QC programs up to snuff to be diving 13,000 feet below the ocean's surface. They're figuring that you're going to put it in your shed or in your house or some sort of regular building. I mean, this the whole attitude is just so cavalier in this company. I mean, just encapsulating the fact that it's piloted by a video game controller, that pretty much summarizes the company attitude that I'm seeing in a nutshell. I worked on a Navy shipyard building submarines. Um, Due to accidents over the history of naval submarines, we've lost a few. There's a program called SubSafe, and that program has to do anything to do with the pressure hull of a submarine as part of that SubSafe program. And those components are subject to tracking end to end. I mean, they can actually tell where that product is sourced, what mine the material was extracted from, all the way through manufacturing process, serialized, quality inspected, and then additionally we do more inspections when we install it in the boat. And naval submarines only go to 1,000-ish feet, nowhere near what they're trying to do with this vessel, and they're trying to do it in a repetitive manner with a craft that is clearly underdesigned, clearly does not have appropriate safety factors. I know they had, the ability to um, inflate chambers on it to create buoyancy in the vehicle. Additionally, they can drop weight. Um, but at the end of the day, they get to the surface, and if they've lost power, I mean, they have no way of communicating with the outside world. That would be the ultimate nightmare. is if they are actually at the surface, but they're bolted into this thing. There's no means of escape. So great, you can surface, but you can't get out. I mean, this thing is like a coffin. So it's piloted by a video game controller. Hey, Mom, where's my video game controller? I got to go to the Titanic. I got to go down 13,000 feet. Like, what are they thinking? It's not a game. There should be mechanical controls on the inside of this thing. I mean, the more we learn about it in the public space, the more crazy it is what they've been doing, and no one even knew about it. And it's also, I mean, obviously the people on board are not just, people that don't know better. These are wealthy people. Only a certain type of person could even afford this trip. They're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to go down, and then this company seems to be just trying to make max profit. They're not trying to create a safe experience. They're treating this like it's Disneyland. This is real. This is going down under the sea to depths that have crushed many, many things. Only a few people have ever designed anything that can be piloted to those kind of environmental pressures. And they're just like, oh yeah, let's build some thrown together tube that everybody just sits in Indian style. Let's poop in a water bottle. I'm flabbergasted. And the way that they've gotten away with this, because the Coast Guard does actually make you certify flagged vessels. So the mothership is subject to Coast Guard regulations, Coast Guard inspections. They have to comply with SOLAS, safety of life at sea. That's what that stands for. Regulations. They got to have life jackets. They got to have survival equipment. They have to have the ability for the crew to survive if catastrophic failure on the vessel occurs. And these regulations have come about and are put in place because in shipping, you had the same kind of stupidity that you have right now with this submarine, with this company, OceanGate, the OceanGate scandal instead of the Watergate scandal. I mean, this is a scandal. The fact that those people who are supposed to be stewards of the safety of their occupants just threw it out the window. Clearly, there needs to be some regulation, because if left unsupervised, these people just, they want to go down there in a tin can. I mean, they're not taking any of this seriously. So, I really pray for the safety of the people that are in that thing. One of the thoughts that I had is where you've got carbon fiber tube with metal end caps on it, and this is all bolted together. You're obviously going to have different rates of expansion and contraction. You generally want to avoid that. You generally want your craft to expand and contract together if you're trying to maintain waterproof, watertight integrity. So I would think that after cycling it enough times, you could weaken it. Now, the other alternative is that everything did work, and the safety systems deployed and successfully brought the vessel to the surface, but they still didn't think it all the way through. Even if it can get to the surface, if there's no power, they have no communications. They're just a tube. It's white. It's white too, and it's been rough out. So you've got a white tube that is got no buoyancy to the point where it can stick out of the water. It's going to look like a white log sitting in the ocean. And the gentleman that went, I think it's one of the explorers, the guy who has 3 world records, he sent a text message to his friends saying that it had been storming, so they had to delay the dive. Well, if the storm is still going on, how hard is it for the Coast Guard to detect a white cylinder amongst the sea of white caps all over the place? I mean, this thing does not stick out. They didn't even think to make it orange. So they have no intelligent design. It's I've heard there's redundant safety systems, but it's hard to take them seriously when, again, you're piloting it with a video game controller and the inside of it is completely barren, no equipment, no nothing, not even a place to use the bathroom. It takes 2 hours just to go down there. You know, I would think that they would have put a little more effort into, if you're going to do commercial application, put a little more effort into gearing it up properly and having a proper, safe craft with a recovery plan. You know, we did drills on ships. I guarantee, obviously, they've never conducted a drill. They don't even have equipment to conduct a drill with. When I would climb, when we would go up on the mast on the ships that I worked on, before you climbed, you knew what the recovery plan was. You had recovery gear available. You didn't go up there and wait for a fall to occur and be hanging by your harness, and then people go look for the rescue equipment. And, you know, I just feel really bad for the passengers. I'm not talking shit about them. I feel bad for the passengers because of how unprepared Ocean Gate as a company is. I don't know. I hope that something good can come out of this. I hope that if we continue to allow these wingnuts to visit the site, that they have to at least do it safely, because now they're jeopardizing other people's lives. I mean, it's one thing to jeopardize your own life, but now the rescuers are out there. Who knows what kind of risks they're going to have to expose themselves to if we can locate the craft in order to recover it and hopefully get these people back safely.